Hello everybody, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and this is your NXT review from December 11th, 2013. Sorry for the long delay. I was just preoccupied with a bunch of other stuff. Um, but yeah, I finally watched NXT, got done watching it just now. And also, real quick, I apologize for the lighting in here. It's the best I can get it. But overall, this week's episode of NXT, it was a good episode. But let's just go ahead and run through it. So we start off the show with the NXT Tag Team title match, the Ascension defending the titles against Hunico and Camacho. I thought this was a pretty good tag title match, and Hunico Camacho showed that they are definitely worthy to take the belts from the Ascension, but it just wasn't their night. The Ascension picked up the victory and retained the titles. There you go. Then we get a match between Alexander Rusev versus Cassius Ohno, and now I might be thinking this could be the final match we see of Cassius Ohno maybe next week, and I'll get to why here in a little bit. But yeah, this match was built up for the past few weeks after the Beat the Clock match when Cassius Ohno beat Alexander Rusev's time, and then after a match Cassius had with Tyler Breeze, Alexander Rusev came over and just decimated Cassius, which led to this match. Now we get the match. I thought it was alright. Alexander Rusev picked up the win, so that way it could build him up more for what he could possibly do in the future in NXT. Then we get a segment with Natalya and Bayley getting prepared for their match, which is going to be coming up. A moment where Bayley's hugging on Natalya. And then we get a recap from last week when Antonio Cesaro attacked Byron Saxton and Saxton. And I'll never forget it. Cesaro going, "You are useless!" and slapped the hell out of him and made him roll down the ramp. And Regal was on commentary this week, and Regal's basically calling out Cesaro for that, so we could see Cesaro and Regal have a match eventually at some point. But yeah. Now we get to the or the women's tag match: Natalya and Bayley versus Summer Rae, Sasha Banks. I thought this was a good tag match for the female wrestlers. Summer Rae, Sasha Banks ended up picking up the victory this time. And Bayley still won to try to get to Charlotte after Charlotte turned on her over a month ago. But who knows? Maybe next week they'll finally have the confrontation. We'll just have to watch for next week. And then we get a Leo Kruger promo saying how he's going to try hard to decimate Sami Zayn to become part of the Real Americans. And going, da da! That was pretty cool. And then we get a match between Mojo Rawley, the undefeated Mojo Rawley, versus Scott Dawson. I believe this is the last match Scott Dawson's going to have on NXT for a while since, yeah, this was taped months in advance. And since it was done taped, when it was done being taped, Scott Dawson tore an ACL and he's going to be out for quite a while. Mojo Rawley picked up the victory to stay undefeated. And then after the match, Scott Dawson attacks him again because it's just sending him a message for not taking their offer to join in the Legionnaires. Then we get the announcements for next week, which is the 200th episode. Or, well, it's going to be coming up this Wednesday, but it's the 200th episode ever of NXT going back to February 2010. And we got Triple H going to show up to make an appearance, making some big announcements. And the main event will be a rematch between Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville for the NXT title. This time, it's a lumberjack match. So I could see Adrian Neville picking up the victory and winning the title next week. Who knows? Now we get to the main event. Leo Kruger versus Sami Zayn. The match was short, but it was a pretty damn good match for a short match. I'd say if it was a longer match, it would have kicked ass. But this was a pretty good match. Leo Kruger won, And then after the match, he tries to beat up Sami Zayn again. This time, Sami Zayn gets the upper hand and gets to Leo Kruger. Who knows where this where it's gonna go, but we'll see. And yeah, I know this was pretty quick for an NXT review, but that's because there wasn't really so too much on this episode. But it was a good episode nonetheless. If you guys want to check it out for yourself, link is in the description box for you to check out. Anyways, peace.